Welcome to this week's edition of Men Aloud with myself, Dave Sheahan, high performance consultant, and dedicated for 25 years now to educating, motivating, and hopefully inspiring people just like you to lead your best life. And a big part of what I do with clients always has been about psychology and mindset and motivation because this is the key area for all of us. We all need to work on improving this. And Men Aloud, that's what it's for. I want this space to be where for men to have a platform to for me to help you with different tips and strategies and education and hopefully some inspiration, motivation to lead your best life and to be the best you that you can be, but also a platform where you can contact us or me directly and let us know the issues you'd like us to speak about, like issues that or questions that you'd like me to address on these episodes of the show. And also, again, if you'd like to be a guest or if you'd like to share your personal story by email or message that I'll go through on the show, and whether it be anonymously or you give your name, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that we get these messages out there for people and help people, help other men to lead better lives, to feel better within themselves, and just to be happier. Like the bottom line is happiness. We need to be happier. We need to strive towards being happy. And with Men Aloud, I hope it's going to help many more men to feel happier within themselves and to see more hope in life. Because for far too many, we see all the time that suicide is going through the roof and depression and so on, and it's getting younger and younger. And this is why we must protect, and help our young men as well as men of all generations. And I'm here to help you in any way I can. This is why, I'm only ever a message away. If you're watching this and you're struggling right now, send me a message or an email. Message on any of the social media platforms, or send me an email, or contact the station directly. Let me know how I can help you. I'm here to help you in any way I possibly can. So if you're feeling you're struggling right now, don't struggle alone. I am here with you. I'm here with you to help in every way I possibly can. So just contact me directly or the station, and let's chat things out. And like I said, anyone who would like to share a personal situation or issue or problem or question, you can do it where I'll speak about it publicly and give a name, or else it can be done anonymously, or it can literally be on the show with me. I'd love to have you on and speak about your situation and how it will help others. Like a couple episodes ago, we had Hugh Bennett on, and he spoke about, he's only a young man, spoke about mental health issues that he has had and his own journey growing up and where he's got to now and how he's overcome them and what's helped to overcome them. And that episode made such a positive impact on people. And in future episodes, we'll have many great guests who are going to do the same, whether it be experts or whether it be experts in the area of mental health and psychology and so on, that will help to give you the tools you need, or people, just normal people just like you and me, sharing personal stories, sharing personal experience, because we truly learn from other people's experiences as well as our own. And this is why people relate to people, and this is why I like sharing stories, sharing people's stories, as well as, like in previous episodes, I've shared my own stories of when I've struggled myself and when I've had a tough time myself, because people relate to that, and we all are going through this journey through life. And it's not easy for anybody. No one has an easy ride in this. Life is challenging. Life is not easy. It's a case of, again, trying to work through the obstacles and challenges that come our way, because there will be obstacles and challenges coming our way. That's just how life works. It's how you deal with them, how you react to them is what matters most. Okay. Now, there's a quote that I saw during the week, and I wanted to speak about it. So I want to address in this particular show because I think it applies to men more than either sex. Now that is not because only men experience this. I'm talking about over the generations. This has been a generational issue for men. It's becoming a more and more modern issue for women as well. And this, I'll just read it out firstly. So it's destroy the idea that you have to be constantly working or grinding in order to be successful. Embrace the concept that rest, recovery, and reflection are essential parts of the progress towards a successful and ultimately happy life. Okay? So destroy the idea that you have to be constantly working or grinding in order to be successful. Embrace the concept that rest, recovery, and reflection are essential parts of the progress towards a successful and ultimately happy life. Now, in the last, more so, I suppose, 10 years or so, this has become a big issue for both sexes in terms of, more and more women are in the workforce, more and more women are in powerful positions, more and more women are getting in great positions in companies and, in the media and so on. And all that's fantastic. Like, that's great. Everything should be equal opportunities, always. It's taken a long time to get to this point, and here we are. It's getting that point now where it has got to, and that's fine. It's all cool. But remember, Men Aloud is about addressing this specifically from the men's point of view. So any ladies that are listening, this isn't a sexist situation where you might think that. I'm not saying it doesn't apply to both sexes. It applies to both sexes. But this particular show addresses again from the men's perspective. And if you go back decades and decades and decades, it was mainly the man that was out doing this stuff and grinding and drilling in and pushing hard to create a living and create a career that would bear fruit and be able to feed family and house a family and all that. So it was a man's mentality before, more so that they had to constantly be working, had to constantly be grinding. Now it's basically anybody, okay? And also it's getting younger and younger and younger as well. Now the problem is it's societal conditioning. That's what this is boiled down to, okay? Societal conditioning tells us that success and happiness will come when you work your ass off and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And it's like you will then reach happiness. You will then reach what success is. And societal conditioning tells us that success is nearly on a monetary terms or something to do with material things like houses or cars or yachts or holidays and stuff like that. When the reality is that isn't what brings happiness. Happiness is more about experiences. Happiness is more about relationships, and the quality of our relationships and the joy that our relationships bring us. So we need to constantly work on them. The most important relationship, though, being one with yourself. So if you're constantly grinding and pushing and working and never giving time to yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to actually enjoy life. And life is about enjoying. That's what it should be about. Also, we're nearly made to feel guilty by societal conditioning if we take a rest, if we take our foot off the pedal, if we do activities that are good for us. Mindfulness is still seen as something that's a bit airy-fairy when stopping is actually the best thing you can do in terms of your productivity. Now that goes totally against what we're told. Productivity is meant to be getting as much out of the day as you can, squeezing every last ounce out of every day, just like companies do with its workers, squeeze every last drop of blood out of them till they become useless and then just replace them. And that's unfortunately the way the world works. It's unfortunately the way most companies still run their culture. But again, it's up to us each individually to change that whole attitude. And, it starts with your own mind. And this is where you have to start embracing rest, recuperation, recovery, mindfulness, taking care of you. Like you are the most important person in your life, okay? And if you're constantly grinding and push yourself right to the limit to create this level of supposed success and happiness that in essence and in reality is never going to be attainable by the way society makes it out, you're not going to enjoy life. It's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to take you down to a dark place because we do things. Most people are not living consciously. They're doing what they think they're supposed to do to make their family successful and happy, just as much as for themselves to make themselves successful and happy. But it's typically the wrong thing because you're not even thinking about what I'm actually doing here. Is what I'm doing right now actually going to serve my greater vision? Is what I'm doing right now actually going to bring me happiness? Is what I'm doing right now actually going to take me to a place where I will feel success? Because what matters is that you feel success in yourself, that you feel happy at your level of what happiness should be. That's all that matters. It's not what society tells you it should be. It's not what anyone else thinks it should be. It's down to what you know is right for you. That is what matters. Okay, so you need to get focused on that. And I can't stress enough to you how taking a break and taking time out is actually the best thing you can do at certain times because it will make you more productive. It will make you happier. It will bring you more joy. It will give you time to reflect. It will actually make you drive on harder the next time you go back to putting your foot in the pedal. So it's okay to take the foot off the pedal sometimes. It's okay to ease the foot in the pedal sometimes because sometimes we don't need to take our foot completely off the pedal, but sometimes we do. So it's important that we start embracing rest and recovery and fun and time out and all these things and start to realize that that is actually what's going to bring happiness. Like, why do you work so hard? Why are you constantly striving and grinding and working hard? It's to create a better life, isn't it? That's what we tell ourselves. That's what we tell our loved ones, that it's to create a better life and it's to create freedom and comfort and happiness. But does it ever? Has it ever? For most people, it doesn't. Because the grind continues and it becomes a state of mind. I know myself, like for even like 12 years of my career, I ran a chain of fitness centers with 55 staff and it was a 24/7 job basically, and I had managers and assistant managers and all this kind of stuff in place and I oversaw it, but it became a machine, it became an animal. Now, I loved it and it got a great buzz from it. And there's much I would never change ever, but it did stop me enjoying other aspects of life. And it did impact other areas of my life, which did impact my overall happiness. So, but I was doing it because one, I had a vision I wanted to create. Two, I was driven to get to a point of what we are told success is. So I was trying to reach a bar that we were supposed to reach. I did truly want to make a difference. So I had a mission and purpose I was living off. And I did want to make life comfortable for myself and those who matter, you know? So I was driving things for the right reason to some degree, but also driving things based on a myth of what success and happiness truly is. I've had times in my life when I've had far less in any way in terms of status, credibility, material things, actual money. I've had times when I've had far less and been far happier. You know, like even right now, I'm not in as strong a financial position as I was back then because again, I don't run such a big operation. I don't need to. I get happiness from far smaller things, and what success and happiness mean to me mean far different to what they did back then. No, I'm still a very ambitious person. I still have many things I want to do and I will do, but they don't define my life. They don't define whether I'm happy or not, because they're only a small part of what brings one happiness. So I'm not telling you to stop grinding and stop pushing and stop working hard. I'm not telling you to do that. For some people, happiness will include working, could be 15 hours a day. That might be tied into their values and beliefs and what they want out of life and their vision of life. What I'm asking you is, what is your vision? What are your values? What are your beliefs? What will bring you happiness in your life? Because that's all that actually matters. And you need to tie into that. You need to break free of societal conditioning because it is the biggest chain you can have. And unfortunately, most people are chained by it. And you're striving for a bar that you cannot reach. Striving for a bar you cannot reach, you will never reach because the bar keeps getting raised. Keeping up with the Joneses, all this kind of crap. It keeps getting harder and harder. What do you need in life? What will truly bring you happiness? Like the only things you need are water, you need some food, you need some shelter. That's it. You don't need anything else. Even going to the toilet in a toilet or having a shower in a shower, it's a luxury in a way. Not that long ago, that wasn't that common. It's just going back to my granddad's time. I remember even when I was a kid, where he lived, and there wasn't any of that. Washed in a basin and then went to the toilet in the field. That was it. That's how things used to be not that long ago. You know, things have changed dramatically now and not for the better. Over the last couple of decades, the keeping up with the Joneses got so bad and the bar has got raised so high and the impression of what success and happiness fulfillment actually are has become so clouded and based on so much lies and untruths. So, you know, in this particular episode of Men Aloud, I want to stress to you the importance of getting off that hamster wheel. I'm not saying it totally. I'm saying realize when you need to get off, when you're pushing too hard and you need to take a time out. Realize when you need to take the foot off the pedal a little bit, or you just need to take it off it completely, park up and just take a complete time out. Become more self-aware. This comes down to self-awareness. And when you start to rest up more, like I said, you actually become more productive. So even though you're doing less, you're doing more focused stuff in the time you're actually working. And that's the goal. That's what needs to be the goal. Because remember, time is what gives us happiness. When we have more time and we can do some more fun stuff with time and we can spend more time with people who matter with time that we have, that's what truly will give us happiness. Remember, our relationships with ourselves and our relationships with others and experiences throughout life, that is what will bring us happiness. And we can only have any of that if we free up time. If we're working all the time and grinding all the time and not taking rests ever, we're not freeing up any time for that. We don't have any of that. So how can we be happy? Like I said, break free of societal conditioning. Remember, you have a choice. You have control. You always have and you always have had. So it's time now for you to change that. I'm going to read this quote again for you, okay? Before we wrap things up. So destroy the idea that you have to be constantly working or grinding in order to be successful. Embrace the concept that rest, recovery, and reflection are essential parts of the progress towards a successful and ultimately happy life. And as I said, it's something I've struggled with myself and something I've fine-tuned and evolved over the years. I'm getting better and better at it all the time. Better giving myself time, better at being more mindful, incorporating things like meditation into my life and breath work. All these things are really important and we need to start doing it and do it more and more. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Men Aloud. Remember, it's a platform for men to voice their concerns, their issues, their problems, their questions. So keep sending them into their media TV or to me directly. You can contact us on any social media or email, and we're here to help in any way we can. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, come on and have a chat with me, or you know someone who would or who should be on, get in touch. And if you'd like to anonymously or not anonymously send in your own particular issue or question or situation that you would like addressed on an episode of Men Aloud, contact again myself or the show, and we'd be delighted to showcase it, because whatever way we can all help each other is important. We all need to be in this together. We all need to support each other. And by sharing our personal experiences and challenges and obstacles, that is a way to do it. Okay, this is Dave Sheahan here on Men Aloud. Hope you enjoyed that. Looking forward to hearing your feedback. Share this out there far and wide, and look forward to speak to you on the next episode.